Hey there, I'm Mark.
I'm Evan.
And on this week's episode,
We make Mark talks to strangers, and he has a lot of fun doing it.
Yes. And we answer a listener question. So that's fun. Hey, Evan, how's it going?
Great, man. How are you?
I am doing okay.
Wow. Okay. Jesus.
I've had only an okay week,
Wow.
which is bad to report because, just 2 podcasts ago, I was busy bragging about how I love this time and I love everything and it's so great.
Okay.
But, I guess I'm okay. How are you?
I'm great, dude.
Are you great? Good.
Yeah,
Cheer me
I'm
up. Cheer me up. I'm going to feel better coming out of this conversation than I came into it, going into it, I bet.
Well, that's a given. Jesus. That's a pretty low bar.
Okay.
It's a low bar. I'm feeling great. What I've enjoyed today, well, one, I had a terrible start to the day. Our new video that went out had a terrible thumbnail. The content was all over the place. It's like tanking hard. I'm like, Jesus, what are we doing? What is this?
Right, because you guys are the experts at this. It's not like you don't have 7 or whatever 10 years of experience and thousands of videos, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's not what I'm worried about. It's more this is not up to standard of what we should be doing. And so my morning was figuring that stuff out. But anyway, we figured it out. But then some great news is we've been testing a new template out for how we start videos that we're hitting upwards of 80% at 1 minute.
Wow.
It's insane, dude. It's insane. And more tweaks coming, but now I'm gonna start rolling it out. And a good chunk of my Tuesday was applying it to the new videos that I was recording, because it takes longer to get into the what we're gonna do for each one. So like anything else, it's messy at the beginning. It's not efficient at the beginning, but I'm seeing some of the numbers. Like when one of our videos hit 80%, like 80%. So internally, our goal 70% audience retention at 1 minute.
Yes.
That means 1 minute in on a video, you still have 70% of people watching,
which are crazy high standards already.
Yeah, nobody hits that.
For people listening to the podcast, that's already very, very, very high. Most people have what, maybe 15-20% retention?
No, that's not that low. But at least in my industry, thought leadership.
Okay.
Yeah. I see everybody's data.
Calm down. I didn't mean to question you. I'm just saying, you typically you see a pretty high fall off.
Yeah, it's not that high, but within 10-minute plus videos, right? That's where we want to be. So it's a 10-minute plus video. To have 1 minute audience retention at 70% on a 1 minute video, it's not that hard. On a 10-minute plus video is hard. Nobody does it with anywhere consistency. I'd say an average is like mid 50s for people who are good. I mean, I don't know about people who are crap, but people who are good. I'm like the best of the best. The people who are awesome thought leaders that you admire and you look up to and want to be like. They're hitting mid 50s on their 1 minute. We've been in mid 60s, and I'm telling my team like we need 70 plus.
So, but you hit 80 at 1. So
yeah, but the whole
is it scalable.
Yeah. No, it is. It's like the worst is 70. The worst is 70. We've done it. I want to say 8 times, and the worst is 70.
Are you just pushing the fall off to a minute 30 then? 2 minutes? Like, is the fall off happening anyway? You're just moving the goalpost, or you're keeping people?
No. Because once people stick to a minute, you just see this slow decline, which is normal. You'll see that on almost everybody's channels. After a minute, it's just a slow decline. So it's like, where are we at when the slow decline starts? If you see a big drop off somewhere after a minute, it's because you've done something stupid. Yeah,
they
like something
hate what
big.
You've said.
Exactly. Like it's brutal. So don't do that again. Or it's like a giant commercial or something. But yeah, after a minute, it's just steady slope. So anyway, I saw Nina and I were looking at it today, like 80 for what?
You're like,
this is crazy. Yeah, it's not. I'm so jazzed. Anyway, so that turned my day around. That was great. And then I've really enjoyed today. So this is public facing day. I've been doing interviews and hangouts and podcasts and all this stuff all day long. And now it's 3:00 in the afternoon. So this is like starting to wind down for me now of this has been accumulation of energy since I started this morning. And what I've really enjoyed about today is getting to geek out in different communities and really crush it in those communities. So I started in the YouTube community, TubeBuddy, which is a tool I use to do split tests, did a 24-hour live stream called the Quarant Stream, 24-hour Quarant Stream, and we're raising money for healthcare professionals and all that stuff. And they asked me to join. I said, sure. And I was the last half an hour of the whole thing. So the main host has been up for 24 and a half. Yeah. This guy named Andrew. And I'm giving him praise. And I was like, we're building him up to finish it off. He's like, dude, you do hard things. This is it. You're going to look back on this moment and say, I did that crazy 24-hour live stream. Right? It was like just perfect timing. But I got to geek out on YouTube stuff and thumbnail, and they're the guys I use for my thumbnails. So we started talking thumbnail strategies and answering questions from the audience, all deep into YouTube. I was talking earlier to someone about League of Legends stuff, and like playoffs happened yesterday, and TSM won. They beat 100 Thieves in this crazy 5-game series. And so it was fun, like diving into League of Legends world. And then just before this, I got off an IG Live with a book guy who's got an Instagram account where he reads books.
Yep.
2 or 3 years ago, I sent him Your One Word, and he was just starting his IG account. And now, he's grown 6 times as big or something. And I sent him the new one, and we did a IG Live, and I was pushing him. And so it's like, it was so fun to geek out. So he's only got readers. It's a reader community. And then there's a YouTube community. And then there's the League of Legends community. And I like to just go and like sprinkle in all this little magic dust everywhere. It's been fantastic, dude. It's been amazing.
Fantastic. I love it.
I'm behind on everything. I haven't checked any of my IGDMs, and like I'm behind on every single thing in my business, which always happens on a Thursday because it's just interviews. But yeah, I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. Here we are, Something to Prove podcast, because you all have something to prove.
Thank you, Evan.
Yeah.
Someone clip that and turn that into an audio GIF.
All right.
A meme.
You feel better, Mark? You do already. Look at you. You already feel better.
I feel better because I'm enjoying watching your energy and your success and your fun. It's so funny because the topic, I was going to text you this morning.
I wouldn't have seen it.
About the podcast. I was going to, Facebook you this morning about the podcast. And then I realized that the very thing I was going to send you is the topic of the podcast. So it just makes sense for us to save it. But so what you just talked about is the exact opposite of what I'm doing right now and going through right now. So so you are speaking with a lot of different people, right? Yeah. You're speaking with a lot of different people, and each one of them is giving you little bursts of energy and excitement and all of this stuff. I haven't really been talking to anyone. Like I was saying to Jacqueline, I was like, wow, it's, in a few days, it'll be a month since I've been home. And so for the first week, it was scary. The second week was vacation, as you said. It was a lot of fun. The third week, last week, we hustled through some stuff. You gave me that challenge, and I really hustled through. And this week, I've been working and not talking to anyone. And so like I haven't had, I've spoken to people on my team, obviously. I've spoken with some clients, but everything has been so work related that, and here's how all of the stuff comes together. We had a question from a listener, and I promised the listener that I would bring it to you.
Okay, great.
But
who's our listener?
Our listener is Hermilo Garcia.
Hermilo, all right.
Yes. And maybe I'm saying his name wrong. Hold on.
Probably.
Let's figure it out. Here, how would you say that name, Evan?
Okay, keep going.
Can you see it?
Hermilo Garcia. Let's
go with that. Perfect. Anyway, I promised that I'd bring it to you, but then I was like, oh man, Evan doesn't like it when I don't bring things that are personal to me.
Shoot.
And then I realized, oh, this is personal to me. It's all connected. So here's the question. Ready? He says, thank you so much for the great content. You're welcome. I've been watching your YouTube videos, and I'm thankful for all the great advice you and Evan are sharing. I do have a question though. How can I start creating content about the topic that I like when I feel like I don't have enough experience or expertise?
How does this relate to you?
Hold on. I just want to get out content with the goal of helping people. So the question he had was, how can he be an expert and create content about the topic when he feels like he doesn't have enough experience or expertise?
Okay.
For me, if I'm not connecting with people or talking to people, I run out of things to talk about. And it's not even like running out of topics, because I can make stuff up. If I'm not emotionally connected to something, it's very hard for me to create something. And so
Okay.
when I'm speaking to people and meeting with people, when you're doing what you're doing on a Thursday and you're speaking with all of these different people, you are getting these little moments. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you can draw on those moments and talk to people.
Okay.
I've been in my office for almost a month, not talking to very many people. And honestly, like the thought of posting something on IG, it's just like, I'm emotionally level. I'm not super excited. I'm not super depressed. I'm just like apathetic. I feel like that's the same thing as the person who's afraid to share things because they feel like they're not an expert. There's all of these reasons why we don't do things. His reason is he feels like he can't become a thought leader because he doesn't have the expertise he needs to be a thought leader.
Yeah. Okay. So
my problem is I don't like putting out content unless if I feel emotionally connected to it, and I don't feel emotionally connected to it unless I'm talking and meeting with people.
Okay, great. It's okay, great. So for him, you just show me the journey of you doing it. If you're not an expert, don't pretend to be one. Take me on the journey. If you're trying to me climbing in League of Legends, people come and watch my stream and ask me questions about business. But if I'm talking League of Legends, I'm a silver 3 Teemo ADC main right now.
So League of Legends is an online game, right?
Wow. Yes, it's a video game.
Don't assume people know everything about it, but it's an online game, and you are better than mediocre, but you're not pro.
No, I'm average. The average player base is silver, so I'm silver. I'm average. That's where most of the people are.
And so if you wanted to start a channel as the expert for League, you couldn't.
I couldn't. No, that's stupid.
Because you're not the expert.
Join me, but what I'm doing is join me on my journey. And so I get people who come and ask me questions about business, but I also get people who join. I had a guy yesterday join me from Romania. He's like, I really like your positivity and the music, and he's a better player than I am, and he's giving me tips and feedback on what I'm doing. Like, great, I'm not the expert on this. Yeah, I messed that up. I messed that. Oh, I missed this. And so it's showing the journey of me learning of how to get better. So you don't know everything yet. Awesome. Show me you learning it. Show me what you took from it. Show me how you tried and failed at some stuff. And then as you learn, you can start to teach. You can teach like 2% of the things right now. And you still need to learn the other 98. But every time you learn, you up that percentage. Now you're at 5%. Now you're at 10%. So now you're a 10% teacher and a 90% learner, right? You keep upping your game until you become the expert where now you're doing 90% of teaching and still 10% of learning. That's what he needs to do. You need to get pissed off that you're being apathetic.
But for
it's nothing to do with other people. You should be sitting there looking at your life and saying, I'm pissed that I'm living this life right now, that I'm slow and lazy and lethargic and just sitting around twiddling my thumbs, not making content. That should piss you off.
Lots of things that piss you off, you think should piss me off. And
listen, I'm giving you the answer. That's the content. The content you post isn't about, the content you should post right now isn't about how you don't have somebody to talk to. The content you should post right now should be about how you're pissed about being apathetic and lazy and not posting. Yep.
Yep. So we'll circle back around on me in a second, but the problem I think that most people have when it comes to, I still feel, I feel this less now that I've been around Evan and he's been hammering me so much, but I don't like to be black and white in most videos, because if I say, hey, you know, the number one way to grow your business is through sales and marketing. Someone else will come along and say, well, sometimes, but not always. And what about this industry? And what about this? And what about that? And a lot of people who want to become experts at whatever it is are worried that the people above them who know more than them will point out how little they know about it. And so they're not worried about helping the people below them. I'm not worried about helping the people who are behind me in marketing, in entrepreneurship, in scaling. I'm worried about the people who are smarter than me, faster than me, better than me, have a deeper knowledge of a very small skill set where I'm more of a generalist, that they're going to point out, dude, you're wrong. And that fear of putting something in writing out to the world in video where you teach people the wrong thing terrifies a lot of people.
Okay.
You can't get behind that because what, you feel like I'm over it already? I'm not.
Yeah, it's the big, I mean, it's also not the big problem. Like, he's not the expert yet. So don't pretend to be an expert in something you're not an expert in.
But the reason why we feel the need to be the expert at something that we're not the expert in is because we're afraid to tell people that we're not the expert.
Great. So you show the journey. That's what I'm saying.
When you and I jump on a call and we're really digging deep into what's happening within a certain campaign that you're doing, and you ask me a question that I don't know the answer to, it's very, very uncomfortable for me to tell you, I don't know.
Great. But I'd rather you tell me I don't know than come up with some BS circle answer that doesn't make any sense. Right? It's like, oh, okay, great. So let's find that out. I'm glad it took us 18 minutes to get to that instead of saying, you know what? I don't know. Great. I don't know, but I'll find out.
But sometimes it's, I don't know, and I don't even know how to find out.
Great. At least we know what the problem is. Not, no, do this and try to talk mumbo jumbo to confuse the client and then not get anywhere.
Well, I don't try to do that to you. Maybe I confuse the situation subconsciously or not intentionally, but it's uncomfortable for people to be proven that they don't know as much as they thought they did, or to be called out on things. So that's his problem. I experience it still on the micro level, I'd say. There's lots of.
It wasn't about being called out by people who are
the question is, how can I be an expert at something that I'm not the expert at? Yeah. Your answer is film the journey. Don't pretend to be the expert. My next level is, I think it's not about the fear of not being the expert. It's the fear about being called out on things. And he doesn't want to show the journey. People don't want to show the journey. They don't want to say, yes, I'm going to become a painter because I love art. I suck at it. Let me start. They would rather take the photo of the before and then hopefully get good at it, and then say, here's the before and here's the after. Look at how much progress I made.
Holding the balance.
Screw up every single step along the way.
Holding the balance of knowing that you're awesome and being open to being totally wrong. That's the game. I think I have amazing kick-ass thumbnails, and I'm totally open to somebody destroying my thumbnails. Come and show me.
Because you're very good at them already, though, right?
Sure. But I would love for somebody to come and be better than me. Imagine that. Like, I have now built this reputation as being the best, and I'm doing speeches on being the best, and I split test more than anybody, and I have this giant now reputation. Some people know me as that. And then some upstart could come in and destroy my thumbnails, and I'm pumped. Like, Mark Drager is going to come and blow my thumbnails away when Mark has barely done any thumbnails. Great. I love it. Do it live. Let's go look at our campaign live and watch me get destroyed. That's the process.
It makes me uncomfortable even just thinking of it.
That's what you lean into.
Yeah.
So it's always accounting for that, as opposed to, like, the stuff that always surprises me. I was looking at one big YouTuber's account today, coaching his team on how to build their account, and they're like, well, what do you think of this thumbnail? I was like, I don't know. Let's see what the data says. I might love it, but let's see, is the data working? Even maybe it's my idea. It didn't work. Okay, great. Next. But just because one of my ideas doesn't work, it's like, that idea sucked. Evan Carmichael is amazing and will come up with more great ideas.
Because whatever comes into Evan's head is there for a reason.
That's like the willingness. I had a guy who was another big YouTube guy offered to do my thumbnails, right? And I paid him to do an experiment on my thumbnails. And he took one of my thumbnails and he made it his own. And I didn't like it, but okay, great. Oh, whatever. We'll test it. I'd love for this thumbnail to work. Immediately comes out and the views drop in half. And I send it to him and, like, hey, dude, like, half. Like, this is pretty rough. Do we want to keep testing this? He has a different testing methodology than I do for how to do A/B split tests. They're like, okay, we'll follow your method, no problem. He's like, well, show me all this data and all this stuff, but if you want to switch it back, we'll switch it back. Like, let's switch it back. Switch it back. You start going back up to where they were, right? Back to double now. And I'm following it along. And after 1 hour, it was back to where it was. I'm looking at it by hour, right? So I had like 10 hours of it being perfect. Awesome. And then 4 hours or 5 hours of it tanking. And then 1 hour of it coming back up. I'm waiting for 3 or 4 more hours to make sure that it's a trend, that it's actually back and it wasn't just this random blip. He emails me after 1 hour to say, you know what, our thumbnail didn't work. Right?
Yep.
That's great. It doesn't mean that you suck. You didn't get the result this time. And I'm still willing to listen and try on. Now, if he's doing 50 and they all suck and they never work, okay, well.
But he's supposed to be the expert. He's built up this expertise at it. He came in to help you and he went, oh gosh, I got to do something that's going to help. It didn't help in any way. That's got to make him feel like, he's got to make him question, hey, I thought I was good at this. Maybe I'm not good at this. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought. Maybe I got to learn actually from this Evan guy because I thought I was good and I'm telling everyone I'm good and I suck at this. That is the thought process that would go through my head.
Maybe you can't help that client. Like maybe he can't ultimately help me. If it's me, I'm looking at, okay, what else? I have a few other tricks in my bag, hopefully that can deliver. Right. You only need one to work. When I give people ideas for what they should do or topics to make videos on, I just need one of those to pop and I'm a hero. Right? If I give somebody one video idea and it doesn't work and they yell at me to saying one video idea, it's like, dude, like nobody who's had success thinks
has
that
done
way.
one thing and it worked.
And then it just and they expect that one thing to pop and that's it. Like, but it's also your confidence coming out of it. It's like, okay, well, great, that didn't work. Here's 4 more that we should try. If you want to win, you should try. You should do these 4 videos. You need to do these 4 videos. Because yeah, that one didn't work, but you're also not happy where you are. And one of these 4 will work. Which one? I don't know. You better crush it on all 4. Right? Like you have to guide them with your confidence to make it happen. But it's, how do you get the confidence? Through the pattern recognition of having done enough of them. Mm-hmm. So I'm just confident that I will, within certain fields, right? Again, if you want to criticize me on my Teemo play in League of Legends, have at it. I mean, I have reasons for why I'm doing the things I'm doing, but maybe they're stupid reasons. I'm open to feedback, right? Some things I do just because my League of Legends coach tells me to do them. It's like, okay, Manko told me to do this. Why are you building that? Because Manko told me to build this, right? If I get criticized in a chat, I don't know. He told me to do it. I'm trying it, right? We'll see if it works. If it works, I'll keep doing it. If we try for 2 weeks and it doesn't work, we move on to something else. Like that's always going to be the process. So it's having enough. I think his problem is though, he doesn't have enough. He's only talking about a couple things. And in that case, you're only an expert. You just shift the percentage. You're only an expert 2% of the time. And then as you learn and get better, you'll become an expert at more and more things. Like even within the YouTube world, I really can speak to thought leadership. If I'm talking about other types of videos, it'll be a caveat. Like here's what I would do, but I don't know if that's going to work. Here's what I'm seeing in thought leadership. So now I'm like in 50% land instead of in 98% land. I don't know how to make a kids slime video pop. I mean, I would default to say, hey, 70% at 1 minute. Hey, what's your click-through rate on your thumbnails? I think those apply. But what do you do in the first minute to get somebody to, I don't know, throw slime at the guy's face? I mean, I could reverse engineer and take a lot of work to do it. But if somebody hit me up on the spot, I would have strong caveats of what my advice would be because I don't have as much context. So I'm only 50% expert. So this guy is like a 2% expert. Great. The other 98%, yeah, like me learning about how the willingness to be a student and showcase that you're a student and be an expert and a teacher, that's the balance. That's what you have to get comfortable with.
So I think most people who, like the people that I watch and that I authentically watch are willing to admit when they're doing something new, they're trying something new, it didn't work out. They leave that stuff in. You know, I follow a few automotive channels where these guys are on these car shows on YouTube and whatnot. They've been doing it for a long time. They have 3 million, 4 million, 5 million followers. So they're certainly good at what they're doing, but all of them are super amateurish in terms of like, I'm not a professional. I'm literally trying to figure this out and you're watching me figure this out. And that's a lot more fun than the how-to video, which is like step 1, step 2, step 3, right? It's more fun to go on the journey with people.
Different audience. But one of my favorite stories from Tom Bilyeu was when he was working at Was it Quest or before Quest? I don't remember. Before he became an owner. Anyway, he was partnering with 2 guys or 3 guys, whatever, who were like already rich, super smart. And Tom felt insecure, didn't have money. And he felt like he all of his ideas were getting shot down. He started off as like a marketing intern or something, like just getting started. And he tied a lot of his self-esteem into being right. He wanted to be right. And so he researched and he got ideas and he wanted to be right. But you never know. In marketing, you don't know. Like you send me an ad copy. Great. Let's test it. See what works, right? Most things don't work out. Great. Next. And there was one time that made the shift for him where he said, I was able to convince them to do the wrong thing because I was so certain in how I presented it. I knew it was wrong. I just wanted to be right. I wanted them to say, you're right, Tom, let's do it. Even though he knew it was the wrong idea. And he decided he had to shift from being the person who's right to being the learner. So now he wants to learn. He's open. And to Tom's credit, I mean, I've talked to Tom a bunch over the years. He's always open to feedback. He loves direct. When I came into his home last year and told him like, oh, this my natural reaction, like, oh my God, that sucks. He's like, I love this guy. Because I'm not couching it to say, yeah, like it looks okay. He's like, no, this is brutal. I've never seen something like this bad and I guess I felt like he would be able to handle it or whatever. We're in his skin.
Meanwhile, the two people who work for him who are sitting across the table, they're just like, oh. It's like when you went on Wolf Den, right? And
okay.
And then Jordan calls his son into the podcast and says like, "Why are we doing this stuff?" And the guy's like, we'll change it up, I guess. I don't know. Do you remember that? Do you even remember that conversation?
A little bit. Did he fight me on it? I think he was getting.
Jordan fought you a bit, but then he called up his son, brought him in,
yeah.
and then laid into him for not knowing the stuff that you know, and why isn't everyone doing a better job? And yeah, so you might, when you're eye to eye with the expert, you can give it to them, but then they just turn around and their staff have to sweat.
Yeah, I mean, sure. And I'm not trying to make somebody look bad, but also cut into the truth quickly. I don't know. I think it's important as opposed to kind of dancing around it.
I agree.
I love
I've learned that lesson recently as well, to just be, it's better to be direct and honest with people and then deal with hurt feelings later than it is to try and be nice and waste a lot of time.
Yeah. And you may not even hurt their feelings. Like I said, I think at some point you might, but I think people treat people with kid gloves too much. And I'd rather, like, you're taking baby steps across the street. I'd rather take giant steps and see where your limit is. Mm-hmm. It's either your limit or it's my limit. When you go salsa dancing,
you have explained this just 3 or 4 weeks ago, actually.
Did I?
I know where you're going with this. When you danced with the man and you were leading and he wasn't leading, and I asked if he could keep up and as a follower, and then you said with salsa dancing you want to, as the lead, you always want to try and figure out where the edge is, where you're pushing your person who's following you.
Yeah.
To keep it challenging, but not so much that they can't keep up and feel like garbage about themselves.
Yeah. So when you're dancing salsa, it's a very social dance, and a lot of times you're dancing with people who you don't know. And what's great about it is I could go to San Diego or Phoenix and dance with somebody, and there's some rules to it that you play within, and then you see who's got, like, how far you can push them. But sometimes it's your limit. So when you start dancing with a girl at the beginning, you're leading, she's following, and a great leader and a great follow together could do amazing moves without ever saying anything. They could just lead and follow, right? So when you first dance with somebody, you're looking for some signs. You're doing very basic stuff, and then you get harder and harder and harder to see where their limit is. But sometimes you're the limit. Sometimes you just did your most advanced thing and they followed it perfectly. It's like, oh crap, she's better than me, right? I'm the guy who's not as good, right? And there's this moment a lot of times for leaders like, oh, okay, well, I just did my most impressive move and that's all I got. So we'll just keep trying to have fun with the music as we go. So sometimes that happens when you're.
But for those of us who have something to prove,
yeah,
that's uncomfortable. Like, listen,
right.
you know, when
why
you
are we
say,
why are we trying to stay in comfort all the time?
when you say, Mark, you know, years ago, you even did this, but when you said, Mark, you know, help me, I think maybe 2 years ago, you're like, help me get above the 50%. We were talking about, right? 70%, 1 minute range. You said, what can I do? Oh, you're open to ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a YouTuber, right? I run a marketing company, but I'm not a YouTuber. So I'm looking at what you're doing and I'm offering some suggestions, but they're all like me just trying to help you out. And I don't have any confidence that any of them are the answer. And I think you tried them, but you know, like, you're just better at this than I am. I don't even know why you're asking me. So, you know, it's the same thing as the guy who's saying, hey, I'm going to do your thumbnails, right? That moment, if you're dancing and you realize, oh, this person's way better than me and I can't push them. That moment scares me. It scares me in front of a client. It scares me in front of people. And it's an insecurity because, you know, if you're the smartest, or if you're the quickest, or if you're the fastest, or if you're the best, or if you have the most knowledge in something, then at least you can hold on to being good at something, because some of us have something to prove all the time. But facing that, like, maybe I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not fast enough, I'm not smart enough. Oh, this person's a better dancer than me. That, you know, that scares us.
Great.
And so live small the rest of your life and be unhappy and blah, 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 blah.
I mean, what are we trying to do here?
I'm just explaining to you why we think the way we think.
Wow. Thank you.
I'm trying to translate it for Robot Evan.
Great. Thank you for the explanation and description. It's duly noted. Great.
Now, switching gears to me, I've been thinking about this all week because I could come up with stuff, but I've really just struggled with apathy isn't even the right word, because there are things I care about and there are things I'm working on that I'm working really hard on. I've been,
what's your message to yourself though, right now?
I'm where I was when I got really depressed for 2 weeks without the depression or the hopelessness. So 2 years ago, before Tony Robbins and all this stuff,
okay,
I got really depressed. Who do you want to be? Who do I want to be? I've been thinking all week, because I know that the answer is there's just a lack of excitement in my life right now.
Great. So that's what you posted.
A lack of excitement on my life.
Yeah.
Things aren't exciting right now, and I'm addicted to progress and excitement, and I don't have it. So
yeah, either your story.
But see, here's the thing. I don't want to be the guy who 2 weeks ago on the podcast said this is the greatest thing ever, I'm so happy, and then 2 weeks later be like, yeah, it was definitely a moment. You know, I was wrong.
Great. Yeah, I was wrong. There,
yeah.
That's the headline. Yeah. I was wrong. That's your post.
And so for all of you guys who said, how come Mark's happy and we're not happy, and I made them feel bad, I now feel guilty because
great.
Yeah.
All of this is your post.
It's okay.
I was wrong. There you go. That's a good start.
Yeah.
I hate being wrong, because I have my self-esteem tied up in being right.
I do. There you
I'm
go.
Working on it.
It's a work in progress. But
so this is my start.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I said I was the happiest kid on the campus. Blah, 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 blah. Perfect. Content. Next.
That's one day.
Keep going. What else? It's an ongoing conversation. All your stuff that you write is for yourself.
You say when you feel, I know that. If anybody wants to know the secret, if you see something that's written on Instagram or posted, it's a lesson to myself.
So keep
I'm
going.
not talking
you have more
to the
lessons
audience.
For yourself. Are you out of lessons for yourself?
But when you say feel it, post, there are times where I become unfeeling. I don't feel angry. I don't feel scared. I don't feel worried. I'm not feeling anxious. I'm not excited. I'm not happy. I feel grateful. But how many days can I post the same things I'm grateful for? Like just every day posting about how grateful I am. So I'm not helping specific entrepreneurs right now with challenges. So
it's all anti-extraordinary. That's what you get emotional about. You get pissed off that you're living okay everywhere. You've become Mr. Okay. Hi, I'm Mark. I'm Mr. Okay. Mark Okay Drager. That should piss you off. Make content.
It should. It doesn't. It doesn't. It
Have to dig deeper, man. It does. It should. It needs to. It must. It does. It has. It will. It is. All of it.
That's a good response. I like that.
Good. Clip it.
Yes. So I
Of
was going
course
to
it
text you.
does.
I was going to text you this morning and say, man, let's not do the podcast this week. I've run out of things to talk about. And then I was like, oh, that's the very topic we can talk about. We can talk about the fact that Jeremy, you mentioned this last week or 2 weeks ago, right? Jeremy was worried, hey, if I jump on a call every 2 weeks, I'm going to run out of things to talk about. Your answer is no, we're never going to run out of things to talk about. For those of us, for our listener who wrote the question, I think it's the same thing. I think we're just worried we're going to run out of things to talk about.
Well,
and
I gave him
over the last 2 weeks that I've run out of things to talk about that aren't just the same rah things.
I gave him a safety net in that, listen, if you run out of things to talk about, you got me, because I'm not going to run out of things to help them with. Right? All these channels, it's no problem. I was telling Manko, my coach, right, on League of Legends. He's like, I don't even know how we could talk every week, and I feel like I'm just going to say the same things. I don't know how to coach somebody every week.
That is the fear of the person who doesn't feel like they're expert enough, because you have to know all of these things. It's the fear of anyone who's putting content together where they go like, they're on fire for 3 weeks and then they're like, oh shoot, I'm just repeating myself now at this point. I've literally tapped myself out of things. It's the person who writes the album and the first album's awesome and the second album sucks because they're not spending enough time living life in between. That's the thing that scares people.
Living life is
the real thing.
Living life is the recording your album. Make an album about recording an album. Like, you're living life. What's living life? You can only write albums if you're sitting on a beach? Like, what's living life? You should be able to, I told Manko, so I'm helping him with his storytelling and being, more positive. He's pretty positive. He's getting a lot of credit now for being an like untiltable, positive streamer. I'm like, dude, you still have a long way to go, man. Like, your storytelling sucks. Your mental game is still not there. Like, for an average person, sure, but not for what you could be. I could sit with you on stream every day, all year for the next year, and we'll still find ways to improve. And it's the same thing with my Teemo. I'm a silver 2 average player. He's number 1 or number 2 Teemo player in the world. He's like the greatest, right? There's an ocean between our skill level and our play style and what I need to learn to get there. You could sit at every game. The fallacy is thinking that just because you said something once, that it's going to connect and resonate and make an instant impact with them. I say the same 8 things on repeat, just different stories and context, situations. People need it.
And that doesn't make you feel like an actor?
It's not an actor. It's
a fraud, a sham. You just grabbed, hey, I heard this story from Lewis. I like it. I'm going to internalize it. And then I'm going to spit it out as this other thing 7 times. Because everybody's talking about the same things. Everybody mentions the same things, different flavors of all the same things. It doesn't feel like you're running out of things to do to keep things fresh.
Most of what I do is bounce with other people. It's like even this, I show up to a podcast and Mark has a topic and we bounce. It's great.
Evan's favorite thing to do is to show up unprepared. I remember
great.
when you were doing your 23-day US tour last year and you were like,
it used to terrify me.
You're like, how can I do this? How can I do this so I don't have to actually show up and prepared?
Yeah, it used to terrify me. It was the thing that caused me the most anxiety, showing up to an interview and not knowing what the questions are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should take Mark and put him on Omegle. Let's go do an Omegle, Mark.
I don't know why you're obsessed with this Omegle thing.
Can you just do an Omegle? Let's do an Omegle.
I don't even know what. I mean, I know it's basically just chat roulette, is it not?
Go to Omegle and type in like.
Is this an app or is this a website?
Website, omegle.com. OMEGLE.com. I'll mute myself. Share your screen.
Hold on.
In this chat, share your screen so we can see what you're doing.
Omegle.
Yeah, Omegle.
Okay.
You wanted more experience. This is it. You're getting an experience right here, Mark. You asked for this. You're welcome.
Okay. Omegle?
Yeah.
This is not real. Is this real?
This is real. That's it. Okay.
This is the website?
Yeah,
this looks like spam.
Put in your interests. Put it like you could put Canada, put coronavirus, put I don't think you'll get much on marketing. You could try marketing, business. Corona.
Pickup trucks?
Yeah, trucks. Just do trucks too.
Trucks?
Trucks, yeah.
Oh, I put trusks. Trucks, okay.
What else? What else are your interests?
Renovations.
Renovations, okay. You're gonna get mostly kids here. Family, maybe. I don't know. What else do you care about? Weight loss?
Sure, keto.
Keto, okay. This is so amazing.
Okay. What's about to happen?
Then you click video. I gotta be quiet. Okay, click video. Allow.
Hey, what's up? How's it going? You love Canada, do you? There you go, Evan. Did you like that? That was uncomfortable.
You should do another one. Only one? What's that?
I'm an introvert. I don't like talking to strangers and about random topics unless if I understand what we're going to be talking about.
No, this is the whole point. Okay, one more. You talked about Canada and dancing and your daughter. Talking about random people in Tasmania.
Yeah, I didn't understand most of what he was saying, but okay.
Now we got to put all your interests in again, Mark.
No, they're still all there.
They're still there. Okay, video.
Okay. How long are these conversations supposed to be?
Whatever you want.
Hey. Oh, wow. She was like, nope. What's happening? Hello, what's up? Okay, very cool. What are you watching behind you? It's like an eagle. Warcraft. Oh, so you're. That is cool. And are you in a loft right now? Yeah, that's really cool. It says we both like Canada. I like Canada. Hey, so am I. I'm in Oshawa. Where are you? Oh, okay. In Ontario Southwest, as they call it. Very cool. Okay. Really? So you're bored and drunk, and it's 10 to 4 on a Thursday. Welcome to quarantine, right?
You could stop sharing screen.
I don't know how to do this.
If you hover over the screen, there should be, go to the top, like move your mouse to the very top. There should be a green thing.
Maybe I hit escape. No. Oh, there. No.
Okay, I think I can stop you. There we go.
There we go.
I kicked you
there we go.
as the admin. Okay, so the good news, bad news is I couldn't hear anything. I had no idea what they were saying because you had your headset in.
You couldn't hear anything?
I heard zero of both of them.
So all you heard, oh man, that guy. So all you heard of me was say, wow, you're drunk at 10 to 4 in the afternoon? Yeah. And then later make a comment about hookers.
Right, exactly.
So there you go. So what did that prove to you? Like I like interviewing people. I like asking them questions. It doesn't bother me. Like that second person was, playing along a little bit more. So, I don't know if you can see my kind of fake smile on my face where I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But what did this prove?
You wanted to talk to people. You just did.
Yeah. Now I do have a post as to, that last person said that he was going crazy and he's been in quarantine for a month and there's nothing to do but drink, can't work. I guess I can think about my friend in London, Ontario.
You've got 8 different posts from the past 7 minutes that you spent on Omegle.
Yep. That's good. Good insight there.
Getting on Omegle and how uncomfortable it was. trying to figure out what your categories were going to be and how you'd be paired with random strangers to talk about these things. The teenage girls who just passed on you. And
did you like that? Where they were like, nope. Maybe it's the lights. Maybe it's the weird old dude vibe that I've got.
Right?
Going.
Yeah. And also, can we talk about how unhappy Mark was at the start, and then look at that face.
There you go. Did you take a screen capture of that?
There's happy Mark right there. Look at that happy Mark. You could talk about the first guy and connecting with somebody like, what's he going through? Mr. Tanzania. I forget where he said where he was from.
I don't know. Yeah,
doing his dance. Why is a guy in Tanzania? He's trying to get to Canada. So his strategy is to say Canada on Omegle to try to talk to Canadians. This is genius marketing, right? I love it. That's marketing. There's a post. Drunk guy going crazy for a month by himself. You spent 7 minutes on Omegle. You got 8 different posts you can talk about.
Evan's obsessed with this. He keeps emailing me about why Alex should be on it every few days.
Oh, every day. He's doing every day for at least 20 minutes.
That's good.
He's turning them into videos. We were dissecting this morning his yesterday's Omegle and how he should have pushed this other guy a little bit more on something.
Oh, to dance more? I know that he's trying to teach
No, not dance.
Right?
Philosophy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This guy told Alex that he looks like one of the guys who would go into a school and shoot people.
Wow, that's not positive. That's not good.
Yeah, so that's what he told. Anyway, it could have been a whole conversation that he got defensive and left. I mean, rightly so, but he could have used it as a chance to turn around. I think people need more belong. So I love it. I love the idea of we're gonna drop Alex into blank unknown. What are you giving me, Nina? Nina wants me to try some yogurt or something. What is this?
You're going to break fast over this?
Cream cheese.
Oh, it smells good.
I froze most of them for popsicle.
Strawberry cream cheese popsicle? My mouth is watering so much. All right.
We have to wait 4 hours.
It just tastes like strawberry with cream cheese.
Did you just break your fast?
Cream cheese.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yeah. You freeze it and it turns into a popsicle.
This is the greatest thing I've ever had in
You
my
guys should
life.
see Evan's eyes. I should take a screenshot of Evan's eyes right now. He's just like,
good job, Nina.
So big.
We love you.
Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever seen your eyes bulge that much where you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Anyway, you started this saying I'm not talking to anybody. So now you just talked to 2 people, got shut down by another 3.
Yeah, that was fun.
And you
it's
got
fun.
stories.
It's fun to be thrown into like I don't know why people would want to do these random conversations.
What do you mean?
Extroverts maybe do. I didn't want to.
Those are not extroverts. That guy was not well, the first guy maybe was. The last guy wasn't an extrovert. He hates his life. People are lonely, man. That's why they go on Omegle. They're lonely. They want connection. That's where Alex shines. Alex spreads belong. You're gonna plop him in. I had this idea for Omegle for Alex like months ago.
Okay.
I think I sent it to you months ago.
No, 2 weeks ago you sent me something on a Friday.
Oh, okay. That was
we need to get Alex on this. And then a week later on a Friday you said we need to get Alex on this again. And then I didn't understand what it was because you kept sending someone singing, right? Someone who randomly sings to people. I was like, what, you want Alex to sing? I was confused. And then I saw Alex on it, so then I understood.
That guy's marketing strategy of putting Canada and only talking, I think is genius. He's only talking to Canadian. Look, he had his dance certification with him. I want to come to Canada to be a dancer.
He's like, hey, anybody need a dancer? Let's go.
Yeah, I think it's genius, dude. Somebody's going to say, yeah, I like dance. You get to talk to Canadians. I think that's genius.
There you go. Anybody who wants to become a business coach or life coach, go there and start doing life coaching.
Free practice, yeah. I think it's genius. Free
so
practice.
You don't put in keywords for life coach. I guess you put in keywords for like
depressed.
Then you
stressed.
Stressed.
Anxiety.
How to pick a new job, whatever, all that stuff.
Yeah. So good. Mark has gone through Omegle, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a giant smile on his face. It happened. That's the show. We love you. If you want to see us talk about why knots in your stomach equals go time, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and we'll see you there.